Good morning, Yellow class. My name's Miss Pearce and I'm going to be your new teacher when you're in Purple class next year. I'm really excited to join your school. I've already had a little look on your class Padlet at your amazing learning that you've been doing whilst you've been at home. So it's great to see how much you've been doing. I'm really excited for next week when you're doing your transition activities to watch them and learn a little bit about you all, because I know it's really tricky at the moment that I can't come and meet you in school before we start in September. So hopefully it'll make it a little bit easier that you're getting to see me on the videos and I'll get to learn all about you in your transition activities. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you a story, and the story I'm going to read you is A Squash and a Squeeze. Now this story is by the same person that wrote The Gruffalo, so it's by Julia Donaldson and it's one of my favourite books, so I thought I'd share it with you. So here's the front cover, A Squash and a Squeeze. A little old lady lived all by herself, with a table and chairs and a jug on the shelf. A wise old man heard her grumble and grouse, "There's not enough room in my house. Wise old man, won't you help me please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your hen," said the wise old man. "Take in my hen? What a curious plan." Well, the hen laid an egg on the fireside rug and flapped round the room, knocking over the jug. The little old lady cried, "What shall I do? It was pokey for one and it's tiny for two. My nose has a tickle and there's no room to sneeze. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your goat," said the wise old man. "Take in my goat? What a curious plan." Well, the goat chewed the curtains and trod on the egg, then sat down to nibble the table leg. The little old lady cried, "Glory be! It was tiny for two and it's titchy for three. The hen pecks the goat and the goat's got fleas. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your pig," said the wise old man. "Take in my pig? What a curious plan." So she took in her pig, who kept chasing the hen and raiding the larder again and again. The little old lady cried, "Stop, I implore. It was titchy for three and it's teeny for four. Even the pig in the larder agrees. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your cow," said the wise old man. "Take in my cow? What a curious plan." Well, the cow took one look and charged straight at the pig, then jumped on the table and tapped out a jig. The little old lady cried, "Heavens alive! It was teeny for four and it's weeny for five. I'm tearing my hair out, I'm down on my knees. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take them all out," said the wise old man, "but then I'll be back where I first began." So she opened the window and out flew the hen. "That's better, at least I can sneeze again." She shooed out the goat and she shoved out the pig. "My house is beginning to feel pretty big." She huffed and she puffed and she pushed out the cow. "Just look at my house, it's enormous now." "Thank you, old man, for the work you have done. It was weeny for five, it's gigantic for one. There's no need to grumble and there's no need to grouse. There's plenty of room in my house." And now she's full of frolics and fiddle-dee-dees. It isn't a squash and it isn't a squeeze. Yes, she's full of frolics and fiddle-dee-dees. It isn't a squash or a squeeze. So that was a squash and a squeeze, and that's one of my favourite stories because I love how it rhymes and I love how it repeats itself. So it's one that's really good to join in with. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing who your new teacher is going to be in September. I cannot wait to meet you all, and I'm so excited to see all your transition activities. See you soon.